Today, I want to quickly give you guys some new tips and tricks for DMZ that you probably aren't using to help you succeed on both Mazrah and Building 21, whether you're solo or in a squad. Though because I do mostly play solo, many of these tips are going to be catered to you. On Mazrah, the way that I now start out any drop is by rushing to the closest deliver cargo contract with no intention of even doing it. So you can buy an LTV with a mounted turret from a buy station for $17,000, but that amount of money can take some time to obtain throughout the match. Instead, you can just begin a deliver cargo contract, which gives you access to a turreted LTV, and once you claim the vehicle, you could just cancel the contract. And now you're starting out the match with probably the best vehicle in DMZ, besides the helicopter that is. Now this is obviously more useful if you have at least one other player in your squad to man the turret, but if you're good at quickly switching seats as a solo player, you now start the match in a much better position. Yo, and real quick, this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid also has some of the best graphics that I think I've ever seen on mobile, so that you can be aesthetically pleased while you destroy your opponents. We get plenty of variety with over 650 completely unique champions to collect from different factions. You can aspire to beat the multitude of bosses across varying levels, or take on real players in PvP battles in the arena. And recently they added a new faction called the Sylvan Watchers. You got like forest elves, you got like scary looking tree spirit things. You even got living rock monsters like in Neverending Story, right? Rather than building a sprawling city on the ground or in a cave, the Sylvan Watchers made their home in the Mistwood, a huge jungle in the east of Teleria. Don't expect to walk in the park if you try to visit the Sylvan Watchers. If the beasts don't kill you, the Sylvan probably will for trespassing on their land. This faction has tons of unique champions that are in tune with nature, with some having plants and mushrooms growing off them, and some being literal trees. These are just a few of my favorites because they give off this dark forest, arcane, druid vibe. This dude has no arm. The content is virtually endless, with new champions and updates every single month. Like this month, for instance. They are also giving us an extended Christmas present. Download Raid Shadow Legends from the link in the description below, then copy your player ID and go to 12 days of raid.plarium.com. This is only running till January 10th, so hop in now because each day you can experience a new chapter of a wintry story and play a new minigame for a chance to win some pretty cool in-game and real-life prizes, including holiday-themed raid champions and even Amazon gift cards worth up to $1,000. Raid released a legendary champion based off of MMA and pro wrestling legend Ronda Rousey. Wait, is that actually real? Play the clip, play the clip. Oh snap, she's got fire gauntlets. Okay, so apparently you could get Ronda for free right now in the game, whether you're a new or long-time player, just by logging into Raid. All you gotta do is log in and play for 7 days between now and February 20th, and Ronda's yours in the game. To celebrate Ronda's arrival in Raid, you can also use the special promo code RAIDRONDA to get a bunch of helpful stuff. And if you haven't started playing Raid yet, you can click my link in the description or scan my QR code here on the screen, and you'll get unique bonuses worth 30 bucks. We're talking about an epic champion Chonaru, 200,000 silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 epic skill tome. All of this treasure will be waiting for you here and available for 30 days for new players. If none of that makes any sense to you, it's because you haven't played yet. Get in, come at me right now at Player2 is Daddy. And if you're fast enough, you can join my clan. See you there. The next tip I just discovered that people have been using for a while when solo, and I can't believe that I'm only now hearing about it. But we all know that you can score a free exfil helicopter by running a rescue hostage contract. But did you know that you can find alternative entrances to some of the buildings where the hostage is being kept, like an open window or a door opened by a guard? These can also be found on stronghold buildings as well as named POIs. When you enter this way, the bomb timer does not begin, allowing you ample time to take out the guards with the recent buff to AI, reaching the hostage after breaching before that timer hits 0, especially when you're solo, can sometimes be difficult. So trying to find another way in first instead of breaching makes this contract much easier. $20,000. This is another number that you need to remember, as for every $20,000 you extract with, 30 minutes will be removed from your insured weapon slot cooldown. So if you've got a timer of 2 hours, before you can get your weapon back, you will have to extract $80,000 from the DMZ, or items worth that in value. The fastest way to get all that cash in one match is by just doing the destroy supplies contracts and raiding the safes that show up. Afterwards, anytime you have a decent amount of cash in your backpack, you can avoid losing it by getting killed trying to exfil and just deposit it at nearby dead drops to ensure that you do get that cooldown. The intel contracts are important for two reasons. If you complete one, it reveals the exact location of the Juggernaut that carries the weapons case, making him much easier to kill. The second one that you complete will spawn in the Helo Commander. Downing him is the fastest way to get access to Building 21, as looting the supply crate that he drops, usually you're going to find a DRC Building 21 keycard. Now, when it comes to Building 21, I highly recommend not traveling here solo until you fully understand the layout of the map, as well as the easiest ways to complete whatever it is that you're trying to do. As of this update, there's really only a few things worth doing at this location. Killing the new boss Velikan to add an exclusive grenade launcher to your contraband weapons, extracting the weapons cases applicable to Building 21, and accessing the locked keycard rooms. The hard part of all this is timing, as almost everything on this new map is tied to the timer. Speaking of timing, you made it pretty far into the video. For that, I just wanted to say thanks. I genuinely value your attention and appreciate the support of my DMZ content. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. I'm super excited about the upcoming videos that I'm working on, and I'd love to have you with us for the release of them. Now, we can begin with the easiest way to kill Velikan, as he spawns in the most dangerous place on the map at a pretty inopportune time. You also have no tac map to go off of here. So let's just start with when you drop in. Unlike the 25 minutes that you get on Mazrah, in Building 21, you're going to get a timer of 13 minutes before the radiation begins to spread. But the most important factor to killing Velikan is the new protection levels that will go off at specific intervals. The levels are represented by LPCon Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo. You will drop into Building 21 at LPCon Alpha. After about a minute into the match, the threat level will be increased to LPCon Bravo, and with it, more bots will spawn in and the difficulty will get even tougher. With each threat level increase, Building 21 will be slowly overrun by AI of escalating difficulty. To access the area that Velikan resides, you're going to have to wait until the event that gets triggered with LPCon Charlie. At 12 minutes, you're going to get an alert letting you know that there's a security locks hack in progress, followed by at the 11-minute mark, this process will be completed, which will unlock several doors throughout the building. Most importantly is the doors that give access to the top floor. Till this point in the match, you're not going to be able to unlock these doors. Simultaneously, the threat level is going to be increased to LPCon Charlie. Now we can get in place to quickly kill Velikan when he spawns in. Now, wherever you spawn in on the map, the easiest way to always find this location until you have the building layout memorized is by heading to one of 4 corners in the building. Once you get there, you're going to find a map outside the stairwell. You need to either be in stairwell C or D to find Velikan. Now, we spawned at stairwell B, which is at the top left of the map, but for reference, the bottom left is A, the top right is C, and the bottom right is D. Along with that, there are 3 floors: the basement and garage area, the main floor, and the top floor. Depending on what level you're on, the map outside the stairwell is going to display whatever locations are on that floor. Now, with that out of the way, we need to head all the way up this B stairwell to the top floor. But be aware, as it unlocks at LPCon Charlie, there will be multiple AI spawned in up here, as well as a Wheelson turret rover. It's going to be patrolling the mezzanine that goes in the circle around the inner part of the top floor. And it's best to kill it before Velikan spawns in, so that it doesn't cause you trouble later. This is why I usually bring in a C4 and wait at the doors that access the mezzanine for him to roll by, and then plant the C4 on him as he goes by. His turret downs you just as fast as the minigun from the Juggernaut on Mazrah, so traversing the area he's patrolling while it's still up is extremely tough, especially when you factor in the hard tapping AI and potentially other players. This is exactly why, if you're going for Velikan specifically, you should probably just avoid the B stairwell altogether. We didn't know that during this drop, but on both the 2nd and 3rd floor, when the security locks are deactivated, right outside the stairwell on both of these floors, there are rooms that are going to become unlocked with multiple orange crates as well as safes. These are the best loot locations on the map that you don't need keycards to access. The point is, most players have started to figure this out, so this stairwell is usually congested. Not to mention, if you take it to the top floor, you'll have to run all the way across this mezzanine on the hardest part of the map to get to Velikan. So just stick to stairwell C and D&D. Now, Velikan is going to spawn at the evac elevator that runs between stairwell C and D. So let's just say if you're looking at the map from C, you're going to turn right, and then you're going to hang a Louis when you get through these doors, and then right around the corner, you'll see the elevator. This is where having a deployable cover will come in extremely useful. Now, at the 5-minute mark, the threat level is going to increase to Delta. This is the final one you're going to get before the radiation begins to leak. Shortly after that announcement, about 20-30 seconds, the elevator doors will open and Velikan will spawn in. Now, he's somewhat heavily armored, kind of like the chemist on Mazrah, but he's equipped with a grenade launcher. So hang back by the corner as much as you can and go for headshots to avoid getting downed. If you have a 3-man team focusing fire on him, he's pretty easy to take down. Like I said, he's much less armored than the Juggernaut, more like along the chemist. To be fair, in this particular raid though, we had just killed him in the previous drop, so I was able to give him the finisher with his own grenade launcher. And once you take him down, you'll have one too. The RGL-80 is a grenade launcher contraband weapon that is super OP and will transfer over if you want to take it into drops back in Mazrah. He also typically drops a black key card that can be used to access another secret door in Building 21, but even better, after he exits the elevator spawn, that elevator will now become an available evac. So after you kill him, you can just run over, call it in, wait for it to reach your floor, and successfully extract from Building 21. The evacs in Building 21 are exclusively done using elevators. As this site is completely interior, towards the end of the match, exfil markers will show up within your view, telling you where they are in that specific raid. Now let's quickly run through the keycard locations. If you've obtained the black from killing Velikan, or got lucky and found it somewhere else, this is one of the easiest doors to access as it's hidden away from most AI spawns and player pathing. Starting from the bottom floor at the A1 stairwell, head towards the center and take a Richie, then head through these double doors and hang yourself a Louis. Halfway down that hallway, you're gonna find the black door. The green and blue key rooms are both on this same floor, so starting from the B1 stairwell in the top left, head back towards the center and hang a quick Leroy, and the door is on your Ricky. This will be the location of the first 2 green doors that you can access. The third is right beside the C1 stairwell. Start from there, and if you head in towards the garage, it's directly on your Reno 911. The red door is simple as well. Starting on the 2nd floor from the Charlie stairwell in the top right, flip around and head down the hallway behind you, and it's about halfway down. Now, the blue door is probably the hardest to reach, only because there's quite a few AI that spawn, and it's right next to where everyone goes to get the weapons cases, which we're going to talk about here after. So let's start again from the bottom floor at the A1 stairwell. You want to head towards the data center here. Go down the hall, and opposite of the data center, you're going to find double doors, and the blue door will be right inside. Now, just like I mentioned a second ago, if you head into that data center across from the blue keycard room, you need to head back to this specific server and hack it to get the weapons case. Now, 2 things. The option to hack this server will not be available until the 11-minute mark when the security locks have been hacked. And 2, once one player in your squad begins the hacking process, do not let go of that button or you're gonna have to start it over. Once somebody presses the button, the AI will begin to pour in from elevators outside of the data center. So make sure that you're covering whoever is holding that button. Once hacked, you're gonna get a notification saying that the armory room is now accessible. Now you're gonna wanna head up to the 3rd floor. In this raid, we actually took the B stairwell. The 3rd floor will now be unlocked, and from B, you can run all the way down the hall, and the armory will be at the end on your Lester. Once inside, all players on the map will be notified that you've entered, so quickly head to the safe before opening any of the crates inside, as it's going to take a bit for the drill to get through. Once it's unlocked, the weapons case will be inside, and you should be far enough into this match where the exfils are now available. Rush to the closest one and get out with your case. Now, if you followed my content recently, you probably already know that most of what I've been talking about recently is that all of this isn't enough. The DMZ needs to see some major updates over the course of its beta to have the opportunity to succeed long term. In this video here, we do start talking about what to expect from DMZ Season 2, and I highly recommend that you check it out. Go on, click it, do it, do it.